There is a news at 1. I am John Omoaka. Lagos State Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu has reaffirmed the commitment of the state government to promoting green business practices and renewable energy in the state. Governor Sanwo-Olu stated this at the opening ceremony of the Lagos International Trade Fair 2024 with the theme, Connecting Businesses, Creating Value. Sanwo-Olu, who was represented by the Deputy Governor, Obafemi Hamzat, noted that his administration has prioritized initiatives that reduce the state's carbon footprints, conserve its environment, and embrace renewable resources. Sanwo-Olu therefore invites all businesses and stakeholders in and outside the country to align with the values it created, noting that the government works together with them towards a more sustainable Lagos for generations to come. While noting the importance of the theme, which resonates deeply with the collective vision for Lagos, Governor Sanwo-Olu said the mission of the state government is to position Lagos as a regional hub and a thriving global marketplace, one that harnesses the energy, resilience, and ingenuity of its people to drive forward economic prosperity and sustainable development. Members of the House of Representatives Committee on Ecology Funds have visited Lagos for a first-hand experience of some erosion-prone areas to ensure that all appropriated funds are properly applied. The team, led by the Vice Chairman of this committee, Oyedeji Oyeshino, were received by the Commissioner for the Environment and Water Resources, Tokunbo Wahab. Addressing newsmen after the tour, Oyeshino said the team was in Lagos just as it has gone round some other states in the geopolitical zone to finding a lasting solution to erosion challenges in the state. Oyeshino explained that the federal government had decided to pause on the use of the ecological funds in order to allow the committee to conduct a holistic assessment and advise federal government on the subsequent disbursement of the funds to states appropriately. He stressed that part of the mandate of the committee is to ensure that all communities affected by erosion and other ecological issues are adequately catered for when the funds are allocated. Earlier in his welcome address, the Commissioner for the Environment and Water Resources, Tokunbo Wahab, expressed optimism that residents of the erosion-prone areas in the state would have cause to enjoy the benefits of the funds. Wahab emphasized that it is very essential for the federal and state governments to collaborate to ensuring a sustainable development of all parts and providing a qualifying living environment for all residents. Minister of Works David Umahi has confirmed that Section 3 of the Lagos-Calabar Coastal Highway will be flagged off before mid-December. Umahi, who stated this during an inspection tour of the first phase of the project in Lagos alongside members of the National Assembly Joint Committee on Works, explained that the delay in that section, which spans through Akwa Ibom and Cross River states, was occasioned by security challenges. He said construction of the coastal highway was never abandoned, as speculated in some quarters, appealing to the lawmakers to investigate rumors before serving summons on his ministry in order to avoid unnecessary distractions on progress of operations of the project.
If you are on this alignment illegally, you are not supposed to be paid. But Mr. President, out of a compassionate heart, directed that we should pay. We even paid Bacha. We are not supposed to pay for, Bacha, temporary structures. But people elected to go to court. And so I'm appealing to the National Assembly to understand that all those things are distractions. And subsequently, it's advisable that any committee, for example, that wants to invite works, let them clear with the two committee chairman.
The minister advised aggrieved persons to stop politicizing the coastal highway project, but rather approach the courts, adding that the president was magnanimous in paying compensations to owners of illegal structures. Members of the committee assured of adequate support amidst petitions allegedly slowing down the pace of work on the coastal road, stressing that the National Assembly will ensure success of the project. Chairman, Senate Committee on Works, Barinada Mpigi, advised the Minister of Works, David Umahi, to always make recourse to members of the Joint Committee on Works at the National Assembly in the event of unforeseen circumstances.
And I must commend Mr. President for this bold step of his. This is geared towards bringing our economy back. Like I've always said, for every society to thrive economically, road infrastructure is key, and that is what President Tinubu is doing. As Parliament, we will continue to back Mr. President by making necessary appropriation to make sure this job doesn't suffer funding.
Our correspondent, Abiola Fawelagun, reports that the Minister of Works, David Omai, reiterated that Section 1 of the Lagos-Calabar Coastal Highway will be delivered by May 2025. Bayelsa State Governor Doye Diri has called on other governors in the Niger Delta to support efforts in addressing the environmental challenges of the region. Diri made the appeal at the International Conference on Petroleum Pollution in the Niger Delta held in Abuja. Diri said conversation and actions to improve the environment of the Niger Delta have become imperative as the people continue to suffer the effects of environmental degradation caused by activities of the oil companies operating in the region. He described the report as a catalogue of a tragic situation faced by the people of the state and called for urgent action to preserve lives. Diri also stated that environmental pollution was no longer just an ecological disaster, but a human rights challenge and humanitarian crisis, expressing worry that despite the magnitude of the issues, the international oil companies always deflected blame for environmental disasters, claiming sabotage rather than acknowledging their faults. Now to foreign news. A further 500 soldiers have been deployed to the Valencia region as residents criticized local authorities over their response to the catastrophic flooding there. More than 200 people are known to have died, with most fatalities in and around Valencia, but the death toll is expected to rise further. Heavy rains that began on Monday caused floods that have destroyed bridges and covered towns with mud, cutting off communities and leaving them without water, food, or electricity. Thousands of people have traveled to rural areas to help with cleanup efforts, but on Friday, authorities announced that traffic in the region will be restricted over the weekend to ensure access for emergency workers. Now sports. Super Eagles B players are expected to regroup next week to continue their preparation for the 2025 African Nations Championship qualifying two-legged fixture against Ghana scheduled for December. The players showed flashes of brilliance during the two-day exercise, drawing encomiums from Super Eagles interim coach and technical director of Nigeria Football Federation, Augustine Eguavon, who said he was impressed with what he had seen of the players so far. Ghana will host Nigeria in the first leg between 28th to 22nd of December, while the second leg holds in Nigeria a week later. The winner over two legs will automatically qualify for the 2025 CHAN, which will be hosted by Kenya, Tanzania, and Uganda. And that's our news at 1. But just before we go, spill thrills but kills. Please do not drive beyond specified speed limits. You can follow us and like all our various social media platforms. X at Traffic Radio 961. Facebook, Lagos Traffic Radio 96.1 FM. Instagram, Lagos Traffic Radio 961. You can subscribe and watch our news and programs live on YouTube at Traffic Radio 961. You can also visit our website www.trafficradio961.ng. Did you know that the Sanwo-Olu administration supported 3,673 businesses with 1.156 billion naira and a plethora of interventions including grants, mentorship, business advisory, and capacity building, as well as market access opportunities? You can get more details on the Lagos State Government website. For contact with the newsroom, send a message to info@trafficradio961.ng. That ends the news broadcast compiled by Zainab Adebeshi. I am John Omoaka. Thank you very much for listening.